Hello and welcome back to the zone, everybody. Welcome back to Stalker 2, where today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 best pieces of equipment you can get in the zone. This will not be including things like artifacts, because I already have a video talking about all the legendary artifacts and another video talking about the best artifacts in the game overall, so if you're interested in those, be sure to check them out. This is going to be taking a look at the best pieces of equipment, so guns and armor. And there is going to be a big asterisk here because this isn't technically the strongest weapons, as there is a lot of very, very strong weapons throughout the game, but I have left off quite a few of them either because they are very far into the story, or you have to get into like Pripyat in order to get a lot of these. So this list is going to be the top 10 best pieces of equipment that you can get throughout the majority of the game, and you can get them whenever you would like. We will talk about all of this as we go though, so just keep in mind this is a very weighted list, and if you just want the best gear overall, there's actually a lot of other equipment that could very well rival a lot of these things. And number 10 you actually do start out with, and that is Skiff's pistol. This thing is amazing. I've talked about it so many times. Skiff's pistol is really, really good. It's just better than a standard Makarov, and you start out with it, so it makes the Makarov pretty much useless, makes the UPD basically useless, makes most of the pistols honestly not really that great to be taking when you just have this one on you permanently. It also weighs almost nothing. The upgrades are dirt cheap for it. Ammunition is pretty common. 9x18 is one of the most common rounds in the game. It's super cheap to buy, and it comes with the armor piercing rounds, which are also pretty decent. All around, it's pretty good. Even in the lesser zone, this one is one of the stronger weapons, since you can also get the extended mag and the suppressor on this, and you're pretty much set up. That can be your backup gun for basically everything throughout the entire game if you'd like. I would kind of recommend swapping this out maybe later on once you get access to like the Rhino or the Stechkin. Both those are really good. The APSB, I think is what it's called in the game, as that one uses the same ammo as this. 3-round burst, big magazine, it's really nice. Rhino can be a little shotgun revolver, or it can just be a little pocket sniper and you pull out and just snipe off people. Usually one-shot headshots on any difficulty on any enemy outside of certain mutants, where you can't quite do that, but it usually can put them down very fast, so maybe swap it off for one of those once you get the chance. But throughout like 2/3 of the game, Skiff's pistol is very, very strong. Coming in at number 9, we got our first set of armor, and this is the Bulat armor. So the Bulat armor you can get if you run right over to the chemical plant right away. This is easiest if you side with Ward in the lesser zone, but you don't need to do that. You can go and get this pretty much at any point so long as you're outside the lesser zone. All you gotta do is head over to this location, and you need to find a code in order to get this armor. This code can be found over in this other cabin where there is also a mutant. You will also need to grab a key before you can get into here. That's found in the main building, and this will get you the code. It is on the wall. This is 0690. If you already know the code, then you don't really need to deal with the mutant, and you can actually just run right over and punch this code in and get it. This is a fantastic set of armor. This comes with 4 artifact slots. It has really high physical protection. It can be even better with upgrades. It can have multiple lead containers for your different artifacts, so that's really good. Overall, it's just a very solid set of armor. It's a little bit heavy, which is why it's kind of down here. We do have some other better armors that will be coming up soon, but either way, it's a fantastic set of armor that you can go and get whenever you would like. Coming in at number 8, we have the Seva-D. This is the Bullpup Dragunov, and you can get this one if you just head right up over here to the Red Forest. Now, this anomaly is actually kind of a pain to get through. It's kind of hard, especially getting across the area where you just have to basically jump across it, and sometimes you get flung out of here. You probably will die, so make sure you save when you're trying this. It took me multiple attempts on this try, even knowing what I was supposed to be doing. Still takes multiple attempts. First time I tried this, it took me a whole lot of attempts to get, but at the very end of this, you will get this rifle, as well as you will also get some Gauss rounds if you go up top. You get like 40 of them up there, which is kind of cool, even though you can't really get a Gauss rifle, or are very unlikely to get a Gauss rifle up to this point, which is why it's not going to be showing up here, because some enemies in Yaniv can actually be carrying around Gauss rifles. They can potentially drop it. It's very unlikely that that's going to happen early on into the game, but if you get a Gauss rifle, that thing hits like an absolute truck. This gun also hits like an absolute truck. This weapon is not super expensive to repair if you have a decent amount of money. It is going to cost you a decent amount if it's fully broken, but this weapon has really high damage across the board. It already comes with a scope. It uses the 7.62x54R, so it's a fairly common sniper round, not too expensive to be buying from vendors, a little bit better prices than something like the 308 round, although the 308 has some really good weapons too. This one I think is one of the best snipers that you can grab early on. It tends to body tap most enemies at most ranges, and it headshots enemies basically all the way through the game, even with standard ammunition, so that is really good. It's a fantastic sniper rifle, might just be a little bit pricey to keep on you and to keep repaired, so that's why it's kind of down here. Coming in at our number 7 spot, we have the Grom S-15 assault rifle. and also a grenade launcher. This counts as both, which is pretty awesome. So this is the unique Groza, and this one already has a few upgrades on it, as well as it does have a different ammunition type, which makes it a lot more useful than the Groza usually is. So in order to get this one, you're going to have to go up north of the concrete factory, which you can do at any point so long as you leave the lesser zone. Once you're up there, then you can just take the road a little ways north, and you'll find this in a hole full of fire. You will probably want to be healing as you jump down there to grab it, and this weapon will be in low condition. It used to be broken, but I think that that's been fixed because the last time I got this, it was at like 30% HP. So it might be at 0, it might be at 30. If you can fix it up, then that's fantastic. It'll be a whole lot better then. Unlike the regular Groza that's chambered in 9x39, this one is chambered in 545x39, meaning that it's pretty much the most common rifle round that you're going to find, as this goes to like the AKs, it goes to the Fora, it goes to some of the later guns like the MacLeod, I keep forgetting its name in this game. It's a very common assault rifle round that you can get. This comes in semi-auto or full auto, and it already has a grenade launcher attached to it, so you can use that if you would like. It's a pretty decent weapon overall. I do like putting a sight on this. That makes it a little bit more nice in my opinion. It also has some access to some pretty good mods like an increased magazine. You can put the ACOG scope on here. You can put a suppressor on it. It's overall pretty solid, and it's got some pretty solid upgrades too. It might not be my favorite assault rifle, certainly not in terms of looks, but it is very, very strong. At number 6, we've got the Seva-D suit. This is another suit that is really easy to get, and it's very strong. So in order to get this one, head up to the concrete factory, and all you have to do is head up over to this building. At this building, you're going to find an anomaly. You just have to scale up the building with the anomaly going. This will give you the drunken vision, and it will be taking your health slowly over time. Not a huge deal though, you can run right past this. Shouldn't take you more than 1 or 2 medkits to actually get up here, assuming that you're sprinting and you're not overweight. At the very top of this building you can find the Seva-D suit. The Seva-D suit is pretty good too. This one already has very high stats across the board in basically everything. It comes with 3 artifact slots. You can get 5 on here, with 1 of those being a lead container. It's not super expensive to upgrade, counts as the helmet and the body. Actually, all the armors that we have on this list all count as that. So that is really nice. You don't need to be going and looking for a helmet. And you can head right up to the concrete factory after this and then just get it fully repaired, assuming that you got the money, as well as you can potentially put some upgrades on it. It's a pretty good mid-game suit for just about everything. Maybe not the strongest. The Bulat does have higher defenses than this one, and it comes with more artifact slots, which is kind of a bonus. It will be more expensive to fix up, though, than the Seva-D suit, so that's why it ranks a little bit higher up here, as well as it's just a little bit easier to get. Coming in at my number 5 spot, we've got the Drowned Assault Rifle. You can do this one as soon as you go to the slag heap. This one you find as soon as you enter it. There's just a guy that says he's dropped his AK down there. Snag it, and then you can go fix it and you can keep it for yourself. This AK is pretty strong. It's already kind of decked out since it's got the double magazines on it, so you can do a fast reload at least every once in a while, which is really nice. And you also already have a grenade launcher on this, which is great. This one is fully broken when you get it, or very nearly broken when you get it, so you will need to fix it up, and that will cost you some cash, but it's super easy to get at pretty much any point in the game, so long as you don't give it back to the guy. You can just keep the Drowned AK. The Drowned AK is also very unique because you can use it when it's completely broken too. And it actually rarely jams, which is pretty surprising. It's probably the most reliable gun overall in the game, because you can use this for quite a while and suffer very few jams from it. You can also upgrade this at basically every technician too, since it's just a unique AK-74. Coming in at number 4, we've got the Falcon suit. The Falcon suit is a fantastic suit of armor. In order to get this one, you are going to need to go a ways, because you have to go all the way over here to this building in order to get it, and you're going to need to be parkouring throughout this. This can be a little bit difficult. Energy drinks I would highly recommend, as well as I'd recommend that you quick save after basically every jump, because if you miss any of these jumps, you're going to die. It's just going to straight up kill you, so that's not good. The Falcon suit, though, is better than all the other armors that we've talked about. It has 3 artifact slots. It can get multiple lead containers, which is great. You can have all 5 artifact slots. This has just higher stats than something like the Bulat suit, and higher stats than the Seva suit, which is really, really good, especially with upgrades. It has access to some really good upgrades. It's not super expensive to fix up, which is fantastic as well. I think it's probably one of the best armors throughout the majority of the game. Generally, I would say it'd be easiest to go for this one or go for the Seva suit first, then go to this one, go across here, grab this, use this for your armor throughout most of the game until you get to like the Croundium armor, which you get much later on throughout the story, about halfway through the story, which is arguably better than this one. Depends. They're both very equal to one another, in my opinion. And if you've already upgraded this one beforehand, then you won't need to do that. And then like your last transition between the suits will just be going right up to like the exoskeletons, whichever one you like the most there. So this one can be used throughout like the entire game if you want to. It's really good. Or you can use it all the way up until you get exosuits and get into like the very latter half of the game when you're in like the last quarter of the game. Coming in at my number 3, we actually just have the regular old Saiga 12 shotgun here, because you can get one of these right away if you'd like, and it's generally in really high condition. In order to get it, head over here to the airfield. There is also a code that you can get throughout here, and you can get a fully fixed up K-Rod out of that if you really want that gun, which that gun is really strong. There's a puzzle in here. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. The Saiga shotgun you can find right here. Now, usually you could just do this by actually doing the whole runaround, which shouldn't be very difficult for you to do so long as you don't run into the anomalies. But you can also do this in a much more simple way if you think about it. You can just shoot the gun off of here if you'd like, or just keep jumping up until you can grab it. I've done both of these for this Saiga shotgun. It's a really good weapon. It's fantastic. The Saiga is, in my opinion, probably the best shotgun outside of maybe the Texan, because you can't get that one until Pripyat, so that one's much later on. But the Saiga is very, very solid. It holds a lot of rounds. You have a whole magazine to reload at once. You can spam fire this thing at very close range. It does devastating damage at close and medium range, even more so at like longer ranges if you want to upgrade it in a certain way. Not necessarily just for slugs, but for like basically anything. It actually works quite well there. It has a lot of different mods you can put on it. The only problem with this one is actually upgrading it, because the only technician that can upgrade it in the zone before you get to Pripyat is up in Yaniv. Not necessarily a big deal, because you can run up there whenever you'd like and then just talk to Harpy. She can fix up your stuff too, which is pretty good. Coming in at number 2, we've got the Decider assault rifle. This one is the unique Fora assault rifle, the Tavor looking assault rifle. It's kind of a Tavor, but anyway, you get this one during a quest. You have to go up to the cement factory and you go into this building. This one I've talked about a lot. You can run down here, go past the psychic dwarves. They aren't that big of a deal. Just ignore them if you don't want to fight them, and then run up to the top part of the building and you can grab this assault rifle. This assault rifle is completely broken, so you will need to go and get this fixed, and you don't want to turn this in though, because this actually counts as a quest item, which makes it so things like the Psychic Dwarves can't actually pull this out of your hand, and you actually never lose this gun. So for any mission where they take all of your guns away, which happens a few times throughout Stalker, you will always have this, and you'll also have Skiff's pistol, so you basically always have a combo of weapons there that are very solid. This one, once again, shoots the 5.45 round, the most common round, or at least most common assault rifle round in the game. You can actually put a lot of mods on this. It's got a lot of really good upgrades. You can set it to semi-auto or full auto. It's a fantastic assault rifle until you're getting basically to the later game, when you can potentially swap this off for things like the MacLeod or the K-Rod, which are very, very strong assault rifles too. And then my number 1 piece of equipment that I'd highly recommend, that is a little bit cheating, is the diamond exoskeleton. So you can actually get 2 exoskeletons before you ever go to Pripyat. They're the only 2 that you can get, not counting the other 2 that you can get throughout the story thanks to meeting up with like Strelok, since you basically get access to 2 of them there too. But the diamond exoskeleton you can find up north near Yaniv, and this one normally would be part of the main campaign, and usually you'd be getting here right as you're about to head towards Pripyat. Now, you don't actually have to do that though if you want this thing. All you have to do is get yourself a box, which there are boxes all the way around this area. It's easiest to get them from the train cart nearby, as a couple of them spawn up there, but if those are all broken, you can go over to the big old tornado where you get the weird bolt, and you can push one away from there. I've done this both ways. The train cart is a much shorter distance. Also, be sure to save constantly when you're pushing the box. In order to push the box, you're actually just going to have to get behind it and push it. Now, you can't actually pick up the box or knife it or anything like that, as it might break. So you're just going to have to actually kick this, bump your body into it until you push it all the way down the hill, and you get it centered right over here against this building. You want to get it close to the side of this building, and if you can get the corner lip kind of up on there, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to jump. Then you just have to jump to this nub on the wall, jump to the entrance right there, then climb your way up, climb up on top of it, and the diamond exosuit you can get right there. The diamond exosuit is one of the best armors in the entire game. It's basically like in the top 3 in my opinion. It's this one, the Ruby, and the Liberty, and the Ruby and the Liberty you're not getting until you actually get into Pripyat. So this one's the best outside of there. This one gives you massive carry weight, which is awesome. You will need to upgrade it in order for this one to sprint, so I would highly recommend you save some coupons for that. This thing is extremely expensive to upgrade, and I think Harpy is the only one that can actually upgrade it in the zone outside of Pripyat. This one already comes with all 5 artifact slots unlocked, which is really, really good, and you can get 4 of those with lead containers, which is also really, really good. That makes it so no matter how irradiated your artifacts might be, you can shove them into those containers and you'll be good. Those containers are incredibly expensive though. The first 2 are going to be the cheapest, and then after that the other 2 are going to cost you like more than those first two combined did just for one of them. This suit is also going to be very expensive to fix up if you need to fix it up, but this one has maxed out physical protection. It's got very high protections across the board. It's really good. The extra carry weight on it makes it so even though that this thing is pretty heavy, it doesn't really matter. You can carry just about everything, and if you go out of your way once you get so far into the story to get the weird water, then you will pretty much have maxed carry weight just from having this and the weird water on you, which is really, really useful for just about anything. You can just pick up so much stuff, whether you want to go artifact hunting, weapon hunting, ammo hunting, whatever it might be. So these would be the top 10 pieces of equipment that I'd highly recommend that you get in the zone early on to make it a little bit easier if you're struggling. You can, of course, go through the game normally, but it is kind of fun to rush some of these, especially on like new game pluses, or well, not really new game pluses, on just new games, because getting something like the drowned assault rifle and the Falcon suit early on is really impactful. It makes it so the mid game is much easier than it would otherwise be, and just potentially a lot more fun for you to actually be decking out these weapons so that you know what you're spending all of your coupons on, rather than potentially hoarding them for upgrades or hoarding them just to repair whatever gear that you've gotten. Hopefully this kind of helped you out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so very much for watching it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye everybody.